Roundtable Talk, we have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpungwe, your host. He is the Patriotic Front mayoral candidate for Mansa district, and he is gracing the roundtable discussion for this afternoon. His name is Mr. Njikho Musuku. Mr. Musuku, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Nakiwe. How are you?
I'm very good. Very excited for you. Congratulations on behalf of the roundtable viewers from across the globe.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
How did you feel, though? Could you just take us back to that moment when you were informed that you had been picked? First of all, how many were aspiring?
5 of us.
Okay.
Of course, I was 2 of us were youths.
Oh, okay.
And of course, I was the youngest.
Wow. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh my goodness, you're very no, that is the serious definition of youth.
Yes, I'm
very young.
This year.
So how did you feel?
Well, to begin with, I'm very much grateful to the President, His Excellency Dr. Njikho. This clearly shows his commitment and determination towards youth engagement and having youth in decision-making positions. So, well, it was on a Sunday afternoon. Of course, we were all eager to the news, and of course, I was home, and then the news broke, and well, I was very excited. A lot of phone calls came in, and of course, I've welcomed the decision because it's in the best interest of the people of Mansa.
That's very confident. The best interest of the people of Mansa.
Yes.
Well, we'll talk about that a little later, but right now, I would just like, you know, for us to discuss about you a little bit. We just want to get into you, Njikho Musuku.
Yes.
So that we can understand better why you have arrived at this really, you know, big stage in your life. Because being a candidate for the ruling Patriotic Front at a mayoral level is not a small thing, you know. So there has to be, you have to have something about you that could cause them to have this much confidence in you. So could you just take us back to your education background, for instance?
Well, I started my education right in Mansa.
Okay.
Sorry, at Our Lady of Mercy. Our Lady of Mercy is in Mansa, like I've stated, and then later in 2007 went to St. Clement Secondary School, and then I had a privilege to be the preventive maintenance captain in 2011.
Okay.
Yes, and then later 2013 I progressed, went to the Copperbelt University, and then completed my academics in 2019, graduated in 2020. I pursued the Bachelor of Science in Urban and Regional Planning, and of course I had several leadership roles at the Copperbelt University. Among them, I was the Secretary General for the Zambia Institute of Planners in my 3rd year. At the same time, I was a dance director in a fellowship. I was also committed to religious activities, and then I was also given a privilege to serve as the Board of Studies representative from our school, which is the Belt Environment. And later on, in 2017, I had to rise to the position of Kobusu President. And the students saw it fit for me to represent their interest because when I was growing up, 2 things that really inspired. My mom used to accommodate a lot of people. She had that heart of giving. And then secondly, my dad used, he loved politics so much. So he was more interested in national affairs. So mostly when he comes back home, he used to give me a newspaper and like asking me to read a book from school. So he used to ask me what was reported on the news, and then what are the papers having. So those bit by bit, they had to develop me into someone who has to be interested in politics, or let me say national matters, and then also the heart of giving, interacting with people. So I got these two abilities from my parents, and with the support of the community and the education background which I've acquired, I think it has really contributed to who I am today, and I remain grateful to everyone who has contributed.
Great stuff, and I think one thing that has come out very, strongly from what you've just said is, the kind of upbringing that you had, and probably the type of parents that you had. So, how important is a support system from a home environment in raising a child who would later, become a success in future?
We believe in family is the smallest unit of the community, which has got an impact on any person across the globe. So I was privileged to have both parents who are very much committed to ensure that they see the best out of me. My mom, of course, she didn't reach a level of degree holder, and my dad reached that level, but my mom was very committed just to ensure that I get to that stage. Okay. And I spent more time with my mom, who used to encourage me, because my dad was mostly out of town because of his commitments. But what I usually encourage is that parents must be interested in the welfare of their children. Of course, different dynamics. People are busy with their works, and also trying to attend to other needs. But I think parents should take an interest in ensuring that their children get the best of education, the services, or let me say the needs that they need. I think they have to ensure that they are always there for them. I think that's what my mom did. I was ever home. Dad used to shout at me when I get home after 17:30. Of course, mom was a bit lenient, but also that helped me to be disciplined. And if you look at the way I even behave right now, I think it's something that you can trace from way back. So I've never changed, even despite my mom leaving me. I've also never changed despite acquiring, ascending to leadership positions, because it's in me. So it's a culture which developed from way back. And I always encourage parents to take in interest in their children. I think that really helps. It doesn't matter whether your parents are available, but I think even the community can also play a big role, because when my mom left me in 2011, I was left with my dad only, and then the community took it up, because mom left a good culture of living with the community. So neighbors took it up to say, no, we have to ensure that our son grows up well. And some of us, we are Bembas. We believe in, we believe in Umuno Umota Usalenda. We believe in working together. We believe in engagement. We believe in working together and staying together, sharing the food and the little resources that we have. So basically, it comes from way back.
Indeed, yeah. Great stuff. And now comes a point when you go to the Copper Belt University. Already you've demonstrated that at every stage of the game, you were yes. in leadership, yes. Be it in the choir or... Yes. But then you come to the Copper Belt University and rise to, the highest position there as Kobusu president. Yes. But also, were you involved in politics that would later make you... become, a politician today?
Yes, of course. I think leadership is in me, and that I believe that in every organization I join, I have to positively contribute until I get to the top. Well, I'm not trying to sound ambitious, but I always want to contribute to the growth of an organization. So, and I've been privileged. I think I've never joined an organization without reaching the leadership structure. So I developed the interest of politics because, of course, where I came from, there were those that went ahead of me from high school. So when I got to the Copper Belt University, they brought me close. Have friends like Samuel Mumba Mansa, who is also aspiring as Chilapa Ward Councillor in Mansa. Oh. So he was the academic secretary. So he brought me close. He said, mentoring me, teaching me of how student politics is. And
so hold on, I need to understand something yes. about this student politics. is student, you know, the unions.
Yes.
Kobusu is a union.
Exactly.
Is it synonymous with, you know, political, politics, student politics?
Yes. It's actually an independent body, and we can't mix the two, because our interest is to protect and promote the interest of the students. Of course, we comment on political issues because it's in the best interest of the students and also the country, because even the students where they come from, they represent families. So while issues affecting families, we definitely engage ourselves in. Of course, we are not affiliated to any political party, and we'll definitely work with the government, because when you're advocating for anything, I can't be insulting the government and hoping to get what I want. We have to coexist, and we have to dialogue to ensure that we achieve what we want. So even the background of student politics and the mainstream politics, how can I put it? I think that these are two independent things, but at some point they get to meet because of us trying to engage each other to get what we want. Okay. Yes.
So at the point when you were in school, what kept you grounded? Because I know that school is a very, there's two things that will happen in school. It will either make you or it will break you. Yes. So what kept you so grounded and so focused to the extent that, you know, you reached a high level of, you know, leadership in school and later became a civic leader after school?
Well, for my sake, I actually believe leadership is a calling. It's no longer a career. So when I was in school, we have other activities that keep us busy. So other people in their free time, they'll go out and relax. Of course, for me, I used to do three things. Either I'm in church or I'm in the sports field. Aside that, I used to involve myself in political issues, just trying to find out what's happening across the country, what do we do for our students. So bit by bit, I got interested in student politics, because like I've mentioned, I had a privilege to be groomed by someone who's already in the system. Because of the relationship that I share with that colleague of mine, he brought me closer, and then I kept on learning. And when you're privileged to be around power, you have to take advantage and continue rising in authority. So that actually built me at the Copper Belt University. I got interest in student matters because I'm also moved by humanity, where I have to contribute something to my environment. So where I find injustice, where I find things not going well, I think I rise up and speak out to say this is how we're supposed to do. If I can't speak out, I must take action, because not always that I'll talk and leave it. For me, I believe if things can't work by talking, get into the boat, get into the ring, and then fight from within and let things change.
Great stuff. And for those that are just joining us on the roundtable discussion, we are featuring Patriotic Front mayoral candidate for Mansa district in Luapula province. And this is Mr. Njikho Musuku. Now, Mr. Musuku, let's talk about the time when you became, I think, Chiliapa ward councillor in Mansa. Tell us a bit more about that part of your life.
Yeah, well, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the people of Chiliapa, because they actually gave me an opportunity to represent their interest, and I am highly grateful. I've been mentored by great people across the country, and among them, men of God, I have people like Pastor Cholwe, Reverend Kangwa Mumba from Bread of Life, Kitwe. These are people who have mentored me just to ensure that my leadership journey, because I believe in God, and I believe that it's God's will to ensure that I get in these positions. So when I was elected as let me say my journey as Chiliapa Ward Councillor started through just a simple conversation with my family friend back home. In 2017, he was telling me to say, I need you to be mayor of Mansa in 2021.
Wow.
Yes. So in 2019, 2018, the councillor who was there at that time defected. She resigned and then defected to DP.
Okay.
So that's how a by-election came about. And then, of course, by the grace of God, the people of Chiliapa saw it fit to have a youth to represent their interest. And we've scored development in Chiliapa with the help of stakeholders, of course, not forgetting His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu, because we as PF, we believe in utilizing all government structures. We have the MP, we have the president who later engages the MP, the member of parliament will also engage the mayor will engage the councillors. So our structure is good in that we're able to interact at all levels and ensure that development reaches the grassroots. And this is the decentralization policy which the president is trying to implement. So my journey as a councillor has been good, of course, with a few challenges here and there, but I remain grateful to people like the senior citizens in the community, because I believe umulilo uchingira bakalamba tawocha. It's a Bemba proverb where if you're ever close to elders, at least they'll be there to guide you. And for me, I always submit to people who have gone before me. Even the current mayor of Mansa, who is Emmanuel Chungu, I think he has been of good help towards my leadership, because it's not always that someone who have experience to execute certain things, but there's always a first time. Someone can learn, and that's the reason why we're having opportunities like these to serve in different different positions. It's because of the president's commitment to ensure that youths actively participate in decision making and then allow them to learn. Because of course, if you look at the first cabinet, about 15 of them were youths. So let me say they were in the early 30s and late 30s. So you find that at that time they were given a privilege to learn. So it's a generation that the president is trying to create, that even after 10, 20 years, there must be some people who are going to pass on the information. We've seen leaders like Given Lubinda. Yes, he has served for 20 years. So even him stepping aside, I think he has given a privilege and opportunity to others to take over. And the Patriotic Front has still appointed him as a member of the Central Committee. He's specifically there to give guidance to people who are coming up, the youths like us will definitely engage him. We consult from him because we want to lay a good foundation that when we reach at that level or at their age, we'll be there to execute what's in the best interest of the country.
Great stuff. Now, yes. I will still take you back to Chiliapa. What when you because now you're moving away from there, you're going on a bigger play field. So, but Chiliapa ward, what would you proudly stand in that ward and say, because of me, this and that and that and that was, such development was brought to this ward? Well,
firstly, councillors are like a bridge between the government and the people at local level. Okay. For the first time in Chiliapa, the councillor has held over 250 community meetings. Wow. Yes, and that has been a result of commitment, dedication, and teamwork. And also, secondly, we've managed to empower over 50 cooperatives. Those are just youth cooperatives. Wow. Yes, the president has given us a privilege, and basically what I did with my team was that we had to prepare people, we had to teach people how to form cooperatives, how they're going to partner with each other, how they're going to register cooperatives, at the same time also respond to any questions in case I interviewed for specifically for youth empowerment. At the same time, through the president, we've managed to empower over 20 women groups in Chiliapa, and all the cooperatives, all the empowerment programs that come through to Mansa. I'm not trying to boast, but Chiliapa is always the highest because with the relationship that I've built with the community, I've ensured that our people are well ready or prepared for any opportunity, that when that opportunity meets them, they're able to succeed. At the same time, we've managed to work on a few markets when I became councillor, like a market like Namwandwe, it didn't have water. But through the support of the MP, I had to engage him. We had to push strings together until we managed to put water there. The toilets are now functional, and just like Kasasa Market, Chilapa Market was in a bad state and needed some face uplift. So we managed to engage the town clerk and the mayor. Partial rehabilitation took place. They didn't have electricity in the market. We took electricity. I've been in constant communication with the town clerk and the mayor. So all these things that we've achieved is because of engagement. At the same time, we've managed to work on a few roads. Of course, public service provision is costly, but through CDF, the support of the MP, we've managed to grade on selected roads in Chiliapa. Of course, we are not saying that we've stopped. Complaints keep coming, and we remain committed to ensure that we deliver the quality services. We've also managed to recruit people towards the bursaries, the government bursaries. And this has happened because we have created a platform for people to engage us. Personally, I believe in an open door policy. I share my number. I'm a public servant. I share my number to anyone, and they are able to call me at any time. So through that interaction, we've managed to bring people on board, where those that are unable to pay tuition fees, especially the girl child. We've got a policy in Mansa Central where girl child is supported. At the same time, even government recommendations. We have bursaries at the Copperbelt University, University of Zambia, Evelyn Horn, and other tertiary institutions. We've managed to at least support just in Chiliapa over 200, just into tertiary education, and then we're supporting over 400 in Chiliapa on bursary. This is evident at Namwando Primary School, Chile, Mochinka, Mutende, down bursary because of the engagement. We've given people a platform to engage their leaders, and that's what has basically happened in Chiliapa through my leadership. And I thank stakeholders like the church. I thank the stakeholders like NGOs that have always been coming through to support us. So we've scored, and like I always say, development has got no finish line. So today what I do, I'll do my level best to ensure that at some point, given an opportunity to step aside, another person will take it up to finish, to carry on from where I've left. Brilliant stuff, excellent, and yes. Well done. Thank you so much. And to those that are just joining us on the roundtable discussion, we are featuring the Patriotic Front mayoral candidate for Mansa District in Luapula Province, and this is none other than Mr. Njikho Musuku. Now, Mr. Musuku, finally we're here. You are now the mayoral candidate for the Patriotic Front. You are 26 years old. You yes. said you had about 4 other competitors. Yes. Probably you were the youngest. Yes. And, you know, people would say that age would matter a whole lot in issues of leadership. What is your comment on when you hear people say, no, Mwaiche, so, you know, let's leave them to, they are still, you know, growing up, so let's leave them out. And now that the Patriotic Front has decided to give you this opportunity over the others who are much older than you, what is your comment on this? It's a policy. These are some strategies that the PF has put in place to ensure that youths are prepared for leadership. Like I've mentioned, we live in a competitive world, and that when we say age, or let me say being in decision making, you don't have to, how can I put it? Okay, we live in a competitive world. So when you aspire to be a leader, the public expects you to behave like someone who's already 40 or 50. So we can't begin to behave in such a manner that is not acceptable to society. And being given a privilege to serve at this age, I think I have to ensure that I engage both the elders and the young ones. And the young ones, of course, the youths are the majority, And we can't do away from engaging our senior citizens that have built us. They offer advice to people like me. So age should not be a limit. What's just important is present yourself. We should not look at the physical environment or our positions indicating, no, in Shakwa Tendalam, I don't have money. I think let's not look at that. Let's be passionate. What I believe in is that whatever that is of value will attract greatness or attract people. So when you develop yourself, you add value. If you're given a privilege to be in school, get educated, develop yourself, know how to interact with the public, and have certain basic leadership skills. I think whoever who's going to be looking at you, I think they'll get to see, to say this person has got potential to be groomed. Of course, something that I don't always overlook is that I need to have a positive attitude, an attitude of learning, and that's something that has helped me to get here. Because, like I've mentioned, there's always a first time to something, and no one was born to be counselor. No one was born a counselor. So we get to learn how systems work, and that's the reason why I keep on encouraging my youths to say, there's so much potential in youths. All we just need is let's be patient and let's have an attitude of learning, and that's all. Let's submit. Sometimes most youths fail to rise in rank because they're failing to submit. When I don't know something, I'll definitely submit to someone who's senior or someone who knows that. So being privileged to lead, to represent the party at this age, my commitment is that I will remain loyal to the party and the people of Mansa, because our vision is making every Zambian, our guiding principle as PF is making every Zambian count. So being privileged to lead, I think what we'll do is that we're going to engage people. All people, let me say, the persons with disabilities, the church, the civil societies, NGOs, traditional leaders. We're going to bring everyone on board, the young, the elders, the women, everyone. We're going to bring them on board. What we just want is that we need to develop. We need to develop Mansa. We need to develop Zambia. And this platform which we have, which I have been given, I must assure the people of Mansa to say development is coming through the vision of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
Great stuff. Now, the numbers, I'm interested in the numbers. Like you, how many youth, well, not exactly the specific number, but at least even a percentage, how many youth have been given this opportunity by your party?
I can safely say about 18%, okay, which is fair. Like I've mentioned, other youths also had the fear to aspire. To say no.
Why the fear to aspire?
Well, I think it's an environment, and that's the reason why I'm saying we need to develop a spirit of grooming other leaders. Like they say, leaders make other leaders, or leaders create leaders. So even people who've been privileged to lead, I've been coached and mentored by great people like His Worship the Mayor, great people like Dr. Chitalo Chilufya. It's because they want to leave a generation at some point. I've been groomed by people like Nixon Chilungwa, groomed by people like former Mayor Mr. Musonda. So it's what I mean is that we're trying to see how best people will take it up. So it's not a matter of age or something. What youths must do is that let them present themselves. So long as they don't tell themselves to say, I'm ready to serve, who's going to come and pick you up? You can imagine if you have to sit home and be comfortable. Don't expect the president to come and pick you to say, no, Njikho, let's go and serve the people of Chiliapa. The first thing that you must do is that present yourself and let people buy into your vision. And basically, that's what has happened. I had to rise up to say, I can do it. I presented myself. People had to scrutinize. You know, PF has got the best selection process of candidates. And different stakeholders come on board to make recommendations. So it's a big thing where I had to be scrutinized, and recommendations were based on what they found in me. And I was a favorite candidate, the best candidate, of course, to represent the party. And what's interesting is that we have all agreed to work together as a party. The people that were left out, we had agreed to say, in an event that they pick one, what we should, of course, not everyone can be a leader, but we should support the person who's going to be picked, and that's what has happened in Mansa district. So we continue to encourage youth to actively participate.
So there's another aspect, because yes, a lot of people say for you to, aspire to political office, yes, whatever level, you need to have financial muscle. Are you, in short, saying that is not very important?
Money, we cannot do away from money.
Yeah.
But what's important is whatever that is of value will attract value. So money is needed. It's a basic in politics. You need money. Even just coming here, I need to get on a bus.
Right.
I need transport. So I need money. So like I've mentioned, we need to develop ourselves. Get educated if you're given a privilege to get educated. Start a business if you're not privileged to be employed. Start a business. Begin to have the basics. And youth should not look at money to be a limiting factor. So long as you're passionate about something, passion will definitely move you. And for me, I'm passionate about public service. I'm passionate about serving people.
Mr. Musuku, are you going to tell us today on the roundtable talk? We want to know, at least, would you stand up on the podium and say, at least I have got something, a nest egg, I have got some money, so I can aspire? Or you're totally broke and depending on well-wishers?
For me, I'm not broke. Yes, and what we should understand is like, even when the president, I'll give a good example, the founding father of PF, Michael Chilufya Sata. I don't think so if he had the money to go around the country to campaign. He had to bring people on board to help him move his vision. And basically, that's what I'm saying. We need to be people of, we need to have a vision. And I have a vision for Mansa district. So people have come on board to support my vision, just to ensure that their dream can also be fulfilled. Other people who are passionate about cleaning the environment. And when I shared my vision for Mansa district, people came on board. Say, no, we're going to support you. So money should not be a limiting factor, but it's a basic, it's a necessity in elections, because you need money to move from one point to the other. You need money to buy tractor. You need money to eat, to buy food. So money should not be a limiting factor. The first thing that we should look at is, are you passionate about service? Do you have the vision? Do you have all it takes? Money only comes in when you meet certain things like you need to be passionate, have the qualifications. That's when money. Of course, even when people are applying, you need money for you to file in nominations. So we are encouraging youth, like I've mentioned. You need to develop yourself even as you begin to enter politics, because money will help you to get certain things. And when you have money, you become independent. So you don't need always to be asking. At least you need to have some money.
Great stuff, Mr. Musuku, on the round table, featuring, for those that are just joining us, we have the Patriotic Front mayoral candidate for Mansa district in Luapula province, Mr. Njikho Musuku. Now comes the point where you have this adoption, and how do you rate your chances of, becoming mayor of the district of Mansa?
I will be mayor of Mansa.
Without any shred of doubt?
Yes, because one, the PF has scored in Mansa. We have delivered. Secondly, the president has done his level best and is still doing his level best. He remains committed to ensure that Mansa develops. Secondly, we have adopted the right candidates at mayoral position, at the same time parliamentary position, and also councillor level. We have adopted the right people. So for us, we work as a team. So for me, I must assure the people of Mansa to say, we are there to save you, and that's the reason why we need your vote. Your vote is what's going to drive development and success in Mansa district. So be rest assured that I'll be the mayor of Mansa come 12th August 2021.
Okay,
no doubt.
Great stuff. And we on the round table, of course, wish you all the best, Mr. Musuku, as you go towards you know, the people's scrutiny to see if you will be what they want to lead them. Yes. But so then, let's talk a little bit more about Mansa. I'm sure there must be some things in Mansa that you can point at and say, I, you know, would like to be mayor because I'd like to do this a little bit differently from maybe your predecessor. What are the things that you will prioritize as you come into office as a Mansa district mayor?
Well, my vision for Mansa is based on it's simple: creating a productive, inclusive, clean, healthy, and safe Mansa. Five principles. So being productive is that we must create an environment for people to thrive. Like it is highlighted in the PF 2021-2026 party manifesto, where we make strategies to ensure that certain businesses, especially the small-scale businesses, thrive. When you go to inclusiveness, we have to increase how we engage people. That's more community engagement, more community meetings, and also having open door policies at every structure, or let me say at every level. At the same time, clean. I'm trying to highlight the basics. Of course, we have done our level best to ensure that we improve garbage collection or waste management. And in my tenure, working with other stakeholders, we're going to ensure that skip bins are procured across the district, especially in strategic places like the markets and also the CBD. At the same time, we also have a challenge of roads, access roads. Initially, Mansa was a traditional, it's actually surrounded by traditional land or customary land. So the state has got a limit to an extent where they can go. But what we're trying to do is that we're trying to have the basic principles of planning. I'm a planner by profession, and a planner is in charge of laying out development in a district. So when you go to the council, there are town planners, and that's what we're going to implement. So my profession will be utilized in this position, because what we want is that we must create basic standards of planning, that we must implement basic standards of planning that are going to work even in the next 30 years. So it having traditional, or let me say customary land, where people do not follow the basics of planning to say we're going to leave space for a road. For us, working with the traditional leaders, we're going to set principles that are going to apply both in the state land and customary land, looking at a sustainable way of service in these areas. So roads continue to be a challenge because people do not know how to build structures. And we as a council, we cannot enter into customary land to guide people how to build their houses. But working with the traditional leaders, these are some bylaws that we're going to put in place to ensure that we guide development that is going to help us in the next 20-30 years. At the same time, we're also going to promote the 24-hour economy. So the markets have to be lit 24/7, that people can trade at any time. At the same time, streetlights. We need streetlights in the highways. And it's unfortunate that we have other citizens that have come on board, trying to steal streetlights. But working with the security, the law enforcers who are the police and the CCPU, we are going to ensure that there's 24-hour patrol system in the district. That the 24-hour economy, which the president is trying to implement, is working in Mansa. So the other thing that we also intend to work on is trying to promote a healthy system of citizens. So basically, like I mentioned, even in Chiliapa, when we're grading roads based on the services that are on that road. So health systems, or let me say health institutions, continue to play a big role. And that's the reason why we'll continue to advocate for more health centers. At the same time, the expansion of the health centers that we have, maternity wings must be available in almost all health centers, and that can only happen when when we're engaging the relevant ministries, which is the relevant ministry, which is the Ministry of Health, and of course we also get to have support from CDF. So we are going to come up with a system that's going to work for our people who need to always be healthy. If people are not healthy, it's very difficult for them to bring development. At the same time, we're also focusing on how we're going to keep our environments clean and green, because we already have a policy which was set by the president. Every weekend, every last Saturday of the month, people must clean their environments. Basically, in Mansa, we're going to extend it to. It should not be a one thing, activity. It has to be a continuous process. So we have come up with different strategies to ensure that we engage people to keep their environments clean. Because I must assure you that what we want is that Mansa to become a city, to attain the status of a city. We're also looking at service provision, of course, garbage collection and other services that the council provides. But this can only happen when we have a big revenue source as a council. So we're going to make it favorable for investors to invest in Mansa district. And we already have the hardworking former minister Nixon Chilango, who served Luapula so well. He had to create a platform for investors. So it's a matter of setting policies that will be favorable by reducing the fees of certain fees that investors must pay. At the same time, improving the efficiency at the council of someone getting a trading license, because mostly you find that people fail to register businesses as indicated in the 7th National Development Plan because of the systems put in place to register business. But we're going to normalize, we're going to improve systems at the council to ensure that someone does not take time, does not take long for them to get their business registered, because we need money, and that through that money we'll be able to service other people, we'll be able to provide other services. So basically, our vision is very clear. We're going to create an environment that will be inclusive and productive, clean, healthy for people to live in a safe environment. So we need every stakeholder to come on board. We don't work in isolation, and we're grateful that people continue to support us. As I speak right now, I was talking to our colleagues back in Mansa who had a meeting. Because I don't work alone. There's a committee that I've already set up, a business and investment committee. Already, even before I'm ushered into office, they're having talks with different potential investors, just to ensure that we have as many investors as possible, just to ensure that Mansa developed. Yeah, it gets to develop, sorry.
Great stuff, absolutely great stuff, Mr. Yes. Musuku. Indeed, we are in the dying minutes of the show, and we want to just hear your advice to the young people who have not been picked by your party. What advice do you have for them?
Accepting defeat is part of winning. So at this point, it's not the end of the world. We are young, but have been presented with an opportunity. What's good is that you've attempted, and I must commend you for attempting. Others have never even attempted. So you attempting is a plus on itself, and I must give you, I must applaud you for doing that. So let's be patient. Let's learn, and let's take time to find out why we're not adopted. So when we get that feedback, it will help us improve and prepare for the next election. And I'll give a good example of what I've seen. It's not that when you're left now, you'll never be elected. In Chilubi, when I went for the by-elections, and when we were campaigning for Honorable Mulenga Fube. Mulenga Fube applied in 2016. He was left out. But in 2020, he was picked. In 2019, he was picked because he was patient. He kept on pushing. So it does not mean that when you're left out, that's the end of the world. Keep on, be persistent and consistent, just to ensure that you achieve your goal. So let's learn from our mistakes. Let's get feedback, what led to us not being adopted, and see how best we can improve. There's so much potential. There are a lot of opportunities coming our way, especially under the PF government. The PF party, what it believes in is that when someone is left and they've shown commitment, they can always be utilized elsewhere. So it may not be that you are left out because you didn't have the qualities for that position. Maybe it's because of certain things that we're trying to follow under the members of the Central Committee. But what we should understand is that we can always be utilized elsewhere. So let's be patient and focused. So long as you want that position, keep on pursuing it, be patient, and let's learn. Let's learn from people who have been there before us.
Great stuff. And in under 2 minutes, as we wind up again, could you just talk to your people of Mansa district and tell them why they should vote for you come August 12th?
Well, the people of Mansa, I must thank you for this opportunity, because when I become mayor of Mansa, I won't serve a specific party. I'll serve everyone. So at this point, what I want is that let's work together. I'm the best candidate. The PF, like I've mentioned, has got the best manifesto, and I don't work in isolation. It has been the map, or let me say the vision for Mansa district has already been highlighted in the PF manifesto, and I'll continue to highlight it even as I go on. Like I've mentioned, we're trying to promote an inclusive, productive, safe, clean, and healthy Mansa. So colleagues, friends, family, let's work together to develop Mansa, because we're going to run an issue-based campaign away from political violence. We're going to run an election which is going to be free and fair, because what we believe in is we believe in people working freely without any interference, and that's what we as PF are going to do.
Great stuff indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Musuku. I know it's a very busy period for you, but you took time off that busy schedule to just come on the roundtable discussion this afternoon to just, highlight your development agenda for Mansa district. There you have it, our roundtable viewers across the globe. On this edition of the roundtable discussion, we featured the Patriotic Front candidate for the mayoral position for Mansa district in Wapula province, and his name is Mr. Njikho Musuku. And until next episode of the roundtable discussion, my name is Nakiwe Simpungwe. Good afternoon. It has been an exciting journey on the Roundtable Talk. We have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpungwe, your host.